Welcome to Democratic Visions. It's our first post-inauguration program. Climate change, the pandemic, and job loss still are in high gear, and George Floyd's plea, "I cannot breathe," still has force. And then there's the fractured media.
In a world where cell phone video, tweets, and Facebook likes incite insurrection, catch a bad cop, or get millions to watch something downright dumb, reliable local news can disappear into a digital blizzard.
Right now, the news that you're watching about Minnesota could be produced in California.
Dana Healy heads 9 North, a cable TV group of suburbs which share facilities in Roseville.
We're losing that local town hall vibe of the information that we need. We're not seeing the Chamber of Commerce ribbon cuttings. We're not seeing the coverage of the local ordinances that impact your businesses here in this community.
9 North and other Twin Cities community media groups are alarmed by the high mortality rates of access TV centers and weekly community newspapers.
So 84 years of service the Lily newspaper gave to our community. And prior to that, a year ago, the Sun Focus recently was acquired by another newspaper. So what we are seeing right now is a news desert that's descending on the North Metro. So we're seeing a lot of the larger organizations eat up the little guys.
The Eden Prairie News and the Lakeshore Weekly News in the southwest suburbs were two of those little guys. They were killed off by a New York-based hedge fund in 2020. From 2004 to 2018, nearly 1,800 newspapers were shut down nationwide, and that number has spiked during the pandemic.
Last April and May alone, so April, May 2020, when the pandemic was really setting in, at least 30 newspapers closed or merged just in those 2 months in the country.
Mark Weber heads the Eden Prairie Community Foundation. A long time ago, he was a reporter and editor at the Eden Prairie News, the one that was recently killed.
I'm among the group of journalists, photographers, editors, writers, and community leaders that have strived to get a new news source ready for Eden Prairie.
New enterprise called the Eden Prairie Local News. We hope it's informative.
During the Eden Prairie Local News' startup phase, Mark Weber has served on a number of committees. The journalism committee is filled with pros who write the articles and take the photographs. Their leader is editor Brad Canham. He's the guy in the center square.
It is an internet-based, nonprofit, dependable news center. Yeah, that's what they call newspapers now, news centers.
It's really important to helping to keep a community connected.
Former state representative Jennifer Loon convenes virtual meetings of the project's startup group. It's a who's list of can-do leaders, and they support independent local journalism.
We decided to go digital to get started.
Their marketing, accounting, new media, legal, and fundraising savvy are key to Eden Prairie Local News.
There's a real entrepreneurial spirit within this working group. If we didn't all know the community of Eden Prairie so well and feel that connection to our neighbors and wanting that source of information and wanting to stay connected, that we felt was really pervasive within Eden Prairie. And so we felt it was really worth the gamble.
I personally appreciate the hardworking and talented reporters with the Sun Sailor, Min-Post, and Star Tribune. Each provides some coverage of Eden Prairie, but even collectively, it's not much. There's a lot going on here, and it can't be covered by news chunks streamed from, say, Virginia or California.
Eden Prairie Local News. There's a lot of enthusiasm right now. It's going to be professional and it's going to be even-handed. The big challenge is sustainability. I mean, that's the big challenge, I think, for this group is there's a lot of enthusiasm right now, but, can you keep it up over time?
It's been working. Now check it out. It's at eplocalnews.org. That's eplocalnews.org.
And this just in. Eden Prairie Local News has been accepted by the Institute for Nonprofit News as a new member. INN supports a growing national network of more than 300 independent, nonprofit, nonpartisan news organizations dedicated to public service.
Democratic Visions is handcrafted by volunteers from Eden Prairie, Hopkins, Minnetonka, Edina, and Bloomington. Watch us on select cable systems and on our YouTube channel. This is Carol Sundstrom.